Good morning. Each of us has a back, and we need to protect it well because it's one of the most important parts of our bodies. My dad has back problems. He has since he was about my age. And when I was like 17, 18 years old, he was in bed for 9 days, unable to work, unable to do anything. None of us wants that. Kind of stinks. It's not fun. So let us go forth. The anatomy of our spine. We have 33 vertebrae. There are 4 sections to the vertebrae. The first is the cervical section, the arrow to the top. I don't know how many vertebrae are in that. I don't know how many vertebrae are in each section. The second section is the thoracic area of the spine. And then you have the lumbar and the sacrum coccyx, I think is how you pronounce that. And then the vertebrae in the lumbar section, so right in here, right around here, the lower back, basically. They're the greatest load and are most often injured. But basically because when you bend over, the first muscles that you're going to lift with are these here, and it's going to put a ton of pressure on the nerves right there. So the last muscles that you lift with are your upper back muscles. So let's go forth. Causes of back pain. Poor body mechanics, lifting incorrectly. Basically that is lifting with your back, not with your legs. Lifting too much with your arms, even doing this, like going over and doing this, you're still gonna have to lift up with your back. So don't do that. Go down and use your legs as best as possible. Twisting your body abruptly or awkwardly or sitting in unnatural positions. Now, unnatural, like you kind of wonder, like, what's an unnatural position? You know, we can kind of sit however we want, can we? Can we not? And then, so an unnatural position is really just like not like slouching down, like when you're holding your baby, like I have been lately. You're like, you just want to relax on the couch and bend your back and all that. That'll supposedly hurt our backs over time. Slouching over when you're sitting, that'll like put some stress on your upper back. So, case in point, in February or maybe March, I was working landscaping in Duncanville, and I was transplanting a crepe myrtle, and I didn't have proper equipment at the where I worked, and I didn't have a skid loader to lift up this huge root ball or anything, and so I had to strap a tow rope around the root ball after you pickaxed it out and rip it out to put it in another hole, and use a truck to do that. And then I had to twist it and stuff. And so when I was twisting, I tore a muscle in my abdominal wall. So I didn't hurt my back, but the twisting can not just affect your back, but it can also affect your abdominal wall. They thought I had a hernia for a little while, and then they ruled that out. So I still deal with that 6 months later. And so I don't do it. It's not fun. It's not worth it. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of hurt. Weak under-exercised muscles is another issue. If you're lifting too much is a problem. You have to know how much you can lift, really, and just don't test the limits. We don't need he-men here. Extra weight. So high heels, worn soles. If you run, if you need new running shoes, get new running shoes, etc. Improper diet. Eat well. If your muscles aren't energized like they need to be, your back can bear the brunt of that when you're lifting and so forth. So, and a lack of sleep. Your muscles are much more prone to injury when you haven't slept enough because they're fatigued, they're worn out. They're like, whenever we run or lift weights or lift or work or whatever, what's happening is our muscles are tearing. And so when you go and lift weights, you tear the fibers of your muscles so that they can heal. And so that's why they recommend that you wait like a day between like doing upper body stuff so that your muscles can fully heal, and that healing process takes place when you're sleeping. So if you're not sleeping enough, then that healing process is not taking place, and you're much more prone to injury there in that case. Prevention is the best medicine. Most back pain arises from using your back improperly. Use exercise, good posture, good lifting techniques. Use your legs, not your back, to help keep your back in good shape. Exercising to strengthen your back is something you need to do. Back pain and like back injury is the most common cause of missed work hours and missed days at work. If you have too much weight, lose weight. That's one of the ways to prevent back injury. check with your doctor for the most sensible diet plan for you if you do that. Maintain good posture is another. And even sleeping, there's recommendation that you sleep on a firm mattress or place plywood between your box springs and the mattress for good back support. And then even using like a pillow between your legs or under your knees for support. These are recommendations from medical personnel like throughout the country. Drive with your back straight against the seat, close enough to the wheel so your knees are bent and are slightly higher than your hips. Plan your lift. When you're going to lift something heavily, that is heavy, you have to ask yourself, is it bulky? Like, bulky isn't just heavy. Bulky could be like, you could lift it, like you could physically lift it, but it's pretty awkward. And so are you going to need help with a box that's shaped octagonally, something like that? Just get help if you need help, and don't shy away from that. If it takes 5 extra minutes, that's great, because you're possibly going to prevent 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months of injury by taking 5 more minutes to do the work. That's it, exactly. Do you see any hazards in the area that you need to eliminate? Basically you want to plan a route. If you're lifting something, you want to go the shortest path, but you want to go to the shortest path that's the flattest and that avoids hazards, whatever those be. If you need to go to like a handicap walkway so you avoid a curb because something's pretty heavy and you're having to kind of tiptoe with it, do that. Go to the handicap walkway, etc. Things like that. If you need a dolly, use a dolly if we have them. If you're having to move things like on your own, don't pull them because you're using your back muscles quite a bit when you do that. Push them. Like there's a guy, I worked landscaping in Arkansas too, and I would go pick up barrels of oil, like 50-gallon barrels of oil. And one time, one of them, the bed of the truck was pretty slippery, and it nearly fell off. And it did fall off, but it got caught by the trailer on the back. So it didn't collapse and spill out on all the road. There was a prevention of, I guess it would have been, I don't know, EPA would have come out and OSHA would have come out and everybody else. Thank God that didn't happen. But I was right by the oil pickup place, the oil company, and the guy came out to help me push it back up. And he was like, hey, don't ever pull, because I was trying to pull on it some. And then I was trying to push, and he was like, don't ever pull. You got to push with your back, or push with your, just push up with your legs and your arms, and that'll help prevent back injury quite a bit. So just remember to do that, and remember to lift with your legs and not with your back. Even when you come down, if you think you're lifting with your legs, you might still be lifting with your back. Just don't bend over. Don't bend over as much as possible. That's kind of a key to lifting. So there you go. Do lift with legs. Do not lift with back. Setting the load down correctly. So if you're carrying a load, the best way to put it down is to drop it in place. Don't try to lift it up above you, so forth. You'll need help for that. If you are not carrying a load yet, get another person to help you if you need it. That's pretty important. So really the keys to lifting properly are lift with your legs, not with your back. If it's too heavy, get somebody to help you. And then don't pull, push. Those are kind of if you guys can think of any others, that's great. But those are kind of key elements to safe lifting. Now, if you're carrying a load and you need to change directions, shuffle your feet like a military man. Don't twist your body and then bring your feet along with you. You're not trying to dance with the load. You're just carrying it. There are about $50 to $60 billion a year spent in medical bills and workmen's compensation bills for back injuries in this country alone. So that's a lot. That was as of last year, 2010. That's a lot of money, and a lot of pain. A lot of people have back injuries, which is not fun. So now it's quiz time.